Thank you. And I'll start my questions now. And first of all, I just heard from Rocky Atkins. He's a special advisor to the to the governor in Kentucky, Governor Beshear. He's very much concerned because in eastern Kentucky, they're getting hit as hard as we are, and they've got so many problems over there. And so I know that, Mr. Rice, you can speak on their behalf too, because you all work very close together with them. And if you will, Rob, explain to me basically, you know, I looked at the program. We put this, first it was called the AML pilot program. That went on for 7 years. We're way past the pilot program, or should be, and now I understand we have more challenges today than we had when we started. Can you give me a little bit of direction on this and what you think we can do? And Mr. Newton, you'll jump in here too. We've got to fix it, and we want to help Ms. Owens, and if we got to make sure that we're able to direct the energies we have and the resources to fix it, because people are desperate to get this done, and it'll never have another opportunity like we have today to do that. Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. As you stated, the AML or the AMLR program started as a pilot to give you an idea of what we experienced initially versus today. So each year we receive new guidance prior to receiving the AMLR funds, and each year that guidance document becomes thicker. So there's more hoops to jump through. The vetting period has increased over subsequent years. So, you know, from our perspective, we have projects that the state feels comfortable moving forward with, Kentucky feels comfortable moving forward with, because that's why they advance them up to OSM to go through the vetting process. But as the program has evolved from the pilot up to what it is today, it has the same intent, and we're able to get to the same point, but the process that it takes to get there is much more difficult. So and it can be as simple as a grant application process. You know, are the requirements that have to be included in the application, you know, seem like they increased. The guidance, as I stated, that has increased. And then, you know, there were two issues that came up that have really made us scratch our heads as to whether or not this is a loan or an economic development program. And that has been program income and then deed recorded covenants. So when we talk about program income, if a project is funded and they implement their project and then it becomes successful and there are revenues made from the advancement of that project, we were told that those monies can't be, nothing can happen with those monies unless it's reinvested back into the project. So we have examples of individuals who have received funds, constructed projects, and now we're telling them that for a period of time, you can't actually make any money off of the project. You have to then instead reinvest those funds back into the project. So that's the program income side. And then I think that came up 2 or 3 years ago.
That's a block right there. Who would do it? Ms. Owens, can you speak to that? Is that what you intended?
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. The issue of program income, as well as some of the other issues that have evolved over the implementation of the program, you know, we have, when those issues have arisen, we've sought legal advice and been given legal advice and are following the advice that we've received in terms of how that program income needs to be treated, as well as other issues that have arisen. And Mr. Rice's characterization that they can't use that money, one of the requirements for us in administering this program is to make sure that the funds that we have, the federal funds that we've awarded, are being used for the purpose for which they've been granted, and that is to support those AMLR projects. And so that the advice we've gotten on program income.
Where do you get your advice from? Where does your advice come from?
From our solicitor's office.
Uh-huh. Okay, maybe we better get them in front of us. Ms. Newton, you have some input on this? The main thing is there's so much bureaucracy. We know, especially in hilly country where we come from, we don't have much flat land. Reclaimed mine land is what we are using our construction sites. If it's done and done right and put back. At first, it used to require they to put back the contour and this and that. Made no sense at all, because we needed building sites. We needed, you know, construction sites, and we were trying to change that. And now to have this where you can't use the money and you can't make money off what the heck are we doing with it? Are you running into the same thing out in beautiful Wyoming?
No, we are not running into the same problems that the Appalachian, the Ambler states are. We're generally able to put our money on the ground. We certainly have a lot of projects to handle, but I will tell you that being on the executive committee for the National Association of Abandoned Mineland Programs, I hear all the issues that all the states are going through. And my counterpart in Kentucky sent me an email and said that they have $101 million of projects waiting for approval
Oh, it's
for
unbelievable.
Ambler.
Yeah, that's what Rocky called me about that. He says, you just won't believe our backlog.
Yeah.
Let me say this, Ms. Owens and Rob and to Don here. What you're running into, or you're saying that basically the way the law is constructed now, the code will not allow you to give him the permission to do what needs to be done to get more people involved. Is that correct?
Not exactly. That's not exactly
Rob, is
correct.
that the way you understand it?
The way I understand it is we are rewarding, you can make a characterization here.
We're just,
but
we're
we get the
not
impression-
condemning anything. We're just trying to find a solution to fix some of these problems. So speak freely.
We're rewarding the projects that fail and punishing the projects that succeed. And that's,
I would really like to understand that better,
I know,
because
that's
that's
what-
not our goal.
I know it's not your goal, so we're going to figure this out. We're going to get everybody together in our team. If you need to have code change here, we have good people here. Senator Daines, all of us come from these types of situations, and we want to make it work and make it fluid. We're here to help. We're not here to condemn.
Yeah, and I just want to say that, OSMRE is not sitting here making these decisions without working with the states. We attend and work with the National Association of Abandoned Mineland Programs. We work with the Interstate Mining Compact Commission. We have a collaborative partnership with the states. We don't agree on all the issues, but we are looking at it from a different perspective. We're looking at it from the federal perspective, but do not want to, it's not our goal or intent
Okay.
to throw
Well, how do
burdens and obstacles.
Maybe we have a lack of communication here to basically to talk about what really needs to be fixed. When I just pressed Rob a little bit, he says, I can tell you what, we're rewarding those who fail, and we're basically punishing those who succeed.
And that's what I really would like to have more
Can
discussions
we do
on and
that?
to
Okay.
understand.
Don, you have your greatest challenge you have with OSMRE.
We certainly meet with them frequently. We have, as Glenda had mentioned, 2 IMCC meetings a year. We have 2 in-person association meetings a year. And we frequently, we've had work groups ever since the beginning of Bill. We've had work groups that many states are on and OSM, to work through these issues. And some of the issues we've worked through, we think. But it does seem that when every one of the states is adamant about an issue like updating their reclamation plan, it just falls on deaf ears.
Can I
And-
say something about the
Sure.
reclamation plans? So one of the things we looked at when we began to develop the guidance on bill implementation was the extent to which and if reclamation plans would have to be updated. Now, our regulations do require the reclamation plans be updated, but what we did was reach out to the states and said, we will engage in informal reviews with you just to look at your plan and only focus on those that might be necessary to be updated that are provisions related to the bill. We didn't do the whole thing because that would be, as has been indicated, it would draw resources away from getting the work done. But we have a schedule, we are meeting with, having informal reviews, pointing out to the states where the bill provisions might
Let me
require.
tell you how bills, we might have the best intention in the world here on this committee to do a bill that really helps everybody. By the time it's implemented, interpreted and implemented, it's completely different than what we intended. And sometimes you think it's been codified, we don't, and you have to challenge it. Okay, we do that too, in rural review. What I'm asking to do now, Mr. Rice, you're here today, right? Have you have a meeting with OSMRE while you're here? Is it possible that you can meet with them today?
Absolutely.
Can you all get, Don, you want to too? After this meeting, and you all can sit down, we'll find you a room here, or if you want to go back to your office. This is how we had to get things fixed, because we're not accomplishing. I can tell you this, what I need to know from you, Ms. Owens, is this. What do you believe that law is codified that you have to do? And what do you believe that basically through your regulations and rules and regulations, it's been interpreted that we can change and back you up in changing these kind of interpretations that aren't really codified, or they're kind of not really clear? We just need some, now we'll back you up in some common sense that helps get the job done. That's where we're running into